We look like a very poorly coached baseball team, and that's on me. I'm sorry for the fans that came out and expected us to play better. We had played, not perfect, but we had played like we were gaining our identity the past two games, and we did not look like that tonight, and that's on me, so we'll get better from that.
Was that something you could sense pregame from the guys, or just something you kind of saw throughout the game?
No, if you know what you're looking at, if you're a baseball guy, we're still having like 20-second issues. The infielder's not looking in at Coach Palumbo for positioning, and we're sped up. We struck out 17 times. I know we struck out a lot, but that's not who we are. And then too many freebies on the mound. It should have been a lot more lopsided than it was. A couple guys that did a good job, obviously getting D'Lo back out there and doing a good job, and then Beschloss did a good job. And John Collins coming off the bench once again, and getting a swing off, and it couldn't happen to a better human being.
Just against a good team like that, just how important is it to keep them off the bases? Just when you kind of give it to them like that.
Yeah, you're not gonna win college baseball games with. And I saw the box score 10 freebies from the walks. I can't remember if we hit a guy or not. And then we struck out 17 times. I don't know if I've ever been a part of a team that has struck out that many times before. And they're good, but they're not that good.
Chasing too much?
Well, we were sped up. You can look at our body language tonight. The past two games we looked the part, and I thought we were really gaining our identity as a position player group. And tonight we took a step backwards, but we'll get better. And it's a long year, and like I've said, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and we'll continue to get better.
Coach, you had two guys come off the bench. Both of them got hits with Roger and John Collins. Just how nice is it to have guys like that on the bench that you trust?
Yeah, we've got a deep bench. We've got to figure out, where guys can play. And Roger's been dealing with a hamstring. And, of course, he legs out a drag bunt and tweaked his hamstring. And it's not pulled, but I had to get him out of the game just because we need him for the stretch run.
Coach, this is a big week coming up now, 4 games over the next 6-ish days. How fresh is the bullpen after having to play today instead of last Friday?
It's not as fresh as it was today.
For a guy like, Peltier at the top of the lineup, it seems like he's selectively aggressive. I think we saw, maybe 19 pitches but got 3 hits. I guess what do you like from a young hitter being able to do that?
No, AP, if you've watched us play the entire year, he's lined out probably more than anybody else. And, he's just stayed the course. He stays positive. He works his tail off. And he's a super defender anywhere in the outfield and has really put together good at-bats for us.
Vergara came in and he looked good with a walk and a bunt as well. What did you like from his play tonight?
Yeah, he's been, like I said earlier, he's been dealing with a hamstring. That's why you hadn't seen him get any opportunities. He tweaked it, and he's been out for about 2 weeks. And today was the first day he could go back out there, and of course he tweaks it again. So hopefully it's not as bad as it was the first time.
You mentioned being kind of sped up at the plate. I'm sure that's happened at one point in your 11 years as a coach. Is there something you can kind of say to him, or is there something you can do in practice kind of for the next week leading in?
Well, we hadn't played sped up when we were in the preseason, and then we played sped up against George Mason. We played sped up at Campbell, and then really did not play sped up against North Carolina on the road, and then we played sped up again. So I don't know if it's our home crowd. They don't know how to play in front of 6,000 people or not, but that's our job to get them ready to be able to play in front of a home crowd. But I'm just disappointed that we picked a night to just play sped up in front of a crowd that was waiting to explode, and that's on me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, any update on Riley at this point when he may be back?
We're exhausting all medical help that we can, and it's he's going to get an MRI this week on Thursday, and hopefully that'll shed some light on what's going on. It's a hip flexor ab area. There's a lot of stuff that comes into that area, and we have use pretty much every option that we can of treatment, and it's just not getting to the level of where he can slow down. It hurts him when he's decelerating running wise.
Does it help at least after a performance like tonight having a game in 48 hours to bounce back and then coming up this weekend?
I don't know. I'll let you know after Wednesday.
Towers and Tolick, are they getting close?
Towers is not going to pick up a baseball until a couple weeks. He's going to let just some inflammation die down. And Tolick got off the mound on Saturday in Durham, so he's come along well.
Series as a whole, what's the biggest takeaway or lesson you think you learned that you'll apply to Wednesday?
that when you don't play good baseball, that you lose to a good baseball team like North Carolina. They're a good baseball team. They're well coached, and the better team right now won all 3 games.